Hey, good afternoon, multimedia. I'm going to go through what it takes to make the cartoon person for your self-portrait assignment that we will start on this week. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Drive. Now that seems kind of funny, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a background. In order to do that, we're going to open up a slide presentation. And I'm going to immediately name this thing Self-Portrait Background. And so now it's saved. I'm going to go to where it says layout and I'm going to change it to blank because then I don't have to worry about getting rid of any words. Now, most time when we look at pictures, they're in portrait style. Portrait means tall. This is in landscape, so I'm going to change it. In order to do that, I'm going to go to File. I'm going to come down to Page Setup. Where it says widescreen, I'm going to change it to custom. And I am going to change this where the width is 8 and the height is 10. That should sound pretty familiar because that's like when you order big pictures from the school, that's the size they usually come in. So that should look more normal here. Now I'm going to go ahead and set a background. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to choose change background, and then I'm going to choose color. Don't choose an image, that'll make it really hard to deal with, I promise. You can choose a solid color or you can choose a gradient where like they're mixed together. I'm going to go ahead and just choose solid because when you go to make changes to your cartoon person, it's a lot easier to do this if it is solid. So I'm going to choose a nice light solid color. Light is best on this. Light is best. So I'm going to choose this light purple. All right. I think I can live with this. So I'm going to make this into a picture. I'm going to go to File, Download. I'm going to choose JPEG. Now, yours is automatically going to go into your downloads file on your Chromebook, but my Chromebook was acting like itself, and, well, we're not going to play that game. So I opened this up, my regular computer, and I'm just going to save it into the folder where I have pictures. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close that up because I don't need that anymore. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up our website, pixlr.com/x/. Now this is kind of interesting because we're going to jump back and forth actually in between Pixlr X and Pixlr E because it's a lot easier to do your picture stuff in Pixlr X, but it's a lot easier to do your drawing in Pixlr E. So I'm going to go ahead and open an image, and the first image I'm going to open, I'm going to go right to that downloads file. This program has nothing to do with Google. So right now at this point, everything is actually in your downloads. So you have to make sure you save if you do anything. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose this background that I created. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure it's big enough. When you deal with pictures, it's a lot easier to start with the picture being a good size, or at least your background. So we're going to go to resize image, and this is little bitty. I always feel it's best to deal with stuff that is between 2,000 and about 4,000. So as you can see here, my width is 2,768. My height is 3,460. This is one button you don't want to play with, because what this is going to do, it's going to keep as you change the size of things in your picture or your background, it's not going to make them look like fat man and flat man. It's going to keep those proportions normal. So I'm going to go to apply, and it's going to look great big. So you can see over here how big it's going to look. So I'm going to drop that. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And now you can see it's in the whole thing. 10's a little small, but 20's probably okay. Now, I'm going to bring in my other picture. This is the background. This is the first layer. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in a new picture. So down here, it's add image. If you've watched all the videos like you're supposed to, you should know what a lot of these things are for. So I'm going to go to add image. I'm going to browse. I'm going to go back to that folder, in my downloads. And I'm going to choose this one. It's got a nice picture head of me. And I want to add that to the current. All right. So I'm going to cut my head off. I know that sounds kind of scary, but it's how I'm going to make it easy for me to draw my cartoon body. So I'm going to go to cutout, and I want to make sure that keep is selected. And over here, I'm going to go to the lasso cutout. Now, for some reason, it goes to remove as soon as I click that, but I want to keep what's cut out. So I'm going to choose lasso and keep. I love the ads that come up with this. Anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start. I'm going to go around my head. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm not perfect at cutting out or drawing. So keep your giggles to yourself, children. All right. So when I click that, I'm going to go to extract as layer. Okay. And I think I'm going to have to get rid of one of these because it must have already done it for me. All right. Now, if I want to move something, I'm going to click this. I'm going to bring this up. Now you can see actually where the picture of my head was. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to make this a little smaller. I'm going to drag it down. I'm going to put it to where I can draw my body underneath. Now, this finishes us for Pixlr X for right now. But what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to save this picture. I know it doesn't look too exciting right now, but you'll see what I do next. So I'm going to go to save. And I'm going to put, I don't want it in self-port. Why is all right, so I'm going to make an adjustment because it says that now my head is going to get cut off and I don't want that. So I'm going to bring that back down so it isn't getting cut off. You can see I've made some mistakes up there and I'm going to show you how to fix them in a little bit. All right, let's try this again. I'm going to go to save. And I don't want this as self-portrait background anymore. I'm going to go to self-portrait 1. So that I don't make a mistake. I'm going to leave everything else the same, and I'm going to just go ahead and download it. It's going to go right into my downloads. All right. Now I'm going to make this real easy. I'm going to go to Pixlr.com. And make sure you use your forward slashes. Now I'm starting to run out of time. So I'm going to go to open image. And there's my self-portrait 1. I almost put myself too tall, but that's okay. We can crop this in a bit. So I'm going to open that up. I'm going to go ahead and just use full HD. It's going to give me this new size. I'm not, that terribly pleased about. So I'm just going to put 2 in there and apply. And you can see that it automatically changed. Because it stays like proportional unless I change otherwise. So now I've got all these tools over here. This is the right click tool for drawing. This is the left click, so keep that in mind. I'm going to go to brush. I'm trying to find, okay, it must be, that's the one. Okay, so I'm going to brushes, and here are my options. I don't want a fuzzy body, so I'm going to go to where it says 40 here. I'm going to change that to like the 20 straight up. Yeah, that's what I want. I'm going to click over here. If I want to choose a different color, I just click on those circles, and I'm going to draw in black. I like to, it's just much easier, I think. So now I'm going to draw my myself in black, size 20. I'm just going to draw a quick body here. Do not laugh at me because I'm doing this quick. If you were in class, you get to see them a little better. And you can see the thing is obviously having issues because of the speed of my computer and everything I'm trying to do at once. Oh, isn't that interesting? Okay, now be real careful. You're probably going to have to go around your head and close that gap, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to paint this in. So I'm gonna draw myself some pants. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but it looks pretty cool. And I'll give myself some shoes. Like I said, not fantastic, but boy, it gets scarier every time, doesn't it? Okay, not the greatest drawing, but it's going to suffice for what we need. Now I'm going to go to the paint bucket, and I'm going to choose, I'm going to close up these ads. I'm going to go to the paint bucket, and I'm going to choose a new color. I'm going to paint my shirt red. So with the paint bucket, I'm just going to go ahead and click, and I have a red shirt. I'm going to go back to colors. I'm going to give myself a pair of blue jeans. And voila. Now, do you see this tiny hole right here? We're going to pretend that I'm wearing boots. If I wanted to wear black boots, I have to be very careful. Otherwise, if I go to the paint can, watch what happens. If you don't seal up your drawing, you're going to do that to your painting. And if you hit Control Z, it will remove the last thing you did. Okay, so I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to give myself some hands, and they're not going to be the greatest, I promise. But I want to show you how to use the color. So, golly, this thing is like really lagging and doing some really strange things. Control Z, obviously. I'm just going to give myself a fist. How about that? Yeah, it is really having problems. Oh my God. Color. I'm going to go ahead now. I'm going to use the color picker tool. I'm going to pick a color from my face. And there's a nice shade for me. And I'm going to go back to that paint can tool. And I'm going to do my hands. Okay, I think I can live with this photo. When I get one I like, I'm going to go to File. Save. I'm going to call this Self-Portrait 2, so I don't do this, overwrite all my stuff again. I'm going to go to Download and Save. And your cartoon part of your self-portrait should be done.